Arsenal did not lose the Champions League final because Gabriel blasted his penalty over the bar. Penalties are 50-50 lottery draws. Arsenal lost this match because of a calculated gamble by Mikel Arteta that backfired due to fatigue. You could remember that Kai Havertz put Arsenal ahead in the 6th minute. Guess what? After that goal, Arsenal retreated. Arsenal decided to be defensive all throughout that game. Imagine, Mikel Arteta's team decided to concede possession to PSG. At one point, it was 75% to PSG and 25% to Arsenal. Why would you do that as early as the first half before any conceded possession to Paris Saint-Germain? You know this team, you know PSG's team's strength lies in their attack. Their attack is very good. Although yesterday was the worst PSG team that I've ever seen in the Champions League. Due to the high defensive network that Mikel Arteta deployed, Saliba and Gabriel were flawless. They were too strong, and that is why, if you notice, PSG were reduced to only one shot on target because of the way Mikel Arteta set up his defensive structure for Arsenal. That tells you that Arteta was here to just defend that 1-0 from the 6 minutes he has been defending. And in this high level of football era, when you defend like that, anything can happen. A human error is bound to happen and can happen, and that was what really led to PSG equalizer. So in this video, I will be breaking down the structural breakdown that actually allowed Arsenal to lose that match. Let's get started. The first issue was retaining possession. Arsenal could not retain possession after they scored the first goal. They couldn't retain possession. Their midfield trio of Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Lewis Kelly, at one point they got lost. At one point they could not even spring 4-5 passes together at one point after they scored the first goal. But guess what? In the first 10 minutes, they were actually having a good share of the possession. In the first 10 minutes, they were actually in transition. But after that, they actually struggled. And because they struggle, that gave PSG midfielders who were technically gifted more than the Arsenal midfielders a form of possession, a form of strong possession accolade. Vitinha and Joao Neves, mostly Joao Neves ran the show in the midfield. They were all having fun in that midfield because the Arsenal midfielders decided not to able to retain possession, and they could not spring 4-5 passes together, the Arsenal midfielder, and that really led to isolation of Kai Havertz and Trossard in the forward. If you notice, Arsenal forward couldn't get passes from the midfield because the midfield were isolated. They could not even maintain possession. And in football, if you cannot maintain or retain possession in the midfield, there's a high tendency that you're going to lose the match. In the second half, PSG actually got the equalizer due to a clumsy challenge by Mosquera on Kvaratskhelia. Now, that foul was I won't blame Mosquera because at that point he was isolated. Take note, before that foul occurred, Arsenal were playing a structural defense line. They were having all bodies in their defense. They were actually having all bodies in their defense, and that gave their defense a flawless shape. Before that penalty happened, in short, throughout the first half to the 65 minutes, I did not even see Kvaratskhelia in that game. Mosquera hid Kvaratskhelia. He was hidden. It was only when that penalty came up that was when I even noticed that Kvaratskhelia was even in the match, because Arsenal were defending with all bodies. They were defending with all players. Bukayo Saka was helping the wing back. The same for the others. So Arsenal were not defending in just only their defense, they were defending with all bodies. But unfortunately, when you do this for too long, there's a high possibility of human error happening, and that was what led to a PSG equalizer. Because the human error happened. Mosquera, I won't blame Mosquera because he had a good game yesterday. He had a good game. It happens in football. It's inevitable. So when the equalizer happened, that was when PSG seized absolute control of that game. Once it became 1-1, Arsenal had no choice than to come out to play. Unfortunately, the transition wasn't that good again because they've made up their mind to defend all throughout that match after Kai Havertz's first goal. So, and take note, when you open up your defensive triangle like this, you give PSG the audacity, you give PSG the privilege to penetrate in danger form. And unfortunately for Arsenal yesterday, this was the worst PSG team I have seen in the past 2-3 years. That's the truth. The PSG team I saw against Chelsea, against Liverpool, against Bayern Munich would have taken us out to the cleanhouse yesterday. That match wouldn't have gotten to the penalty shootouts. The game would have ended in 90 minutes because they would have scored more than 3 goals. But fortunately for Arsenal, like I said earlier, they met the worst PSG team in the past 2-3 years. So that was why you see that they were able to take PSG down to the penalty shootout. Kudos to be given to Arsenal. Arsenal did well. For you to take PSG down to the penalty shootout, that tells me that you did fantastically well. Arsenal came with a good game plan to get the early goal and frustrate the air out of PSG, which they almost succeeded. If not for that clumsy challenge by Mosquera, Arsenal would have been crowned the European champions by now. But it happens in football. So the reason why Arsenal lost wasn't because of Gabriel blasting the penalty over the bar. It was because of these little details, these little tactical details. That was why Arsenal actually lost the game. That was the reason why Arsenal lost the game. So guys, let me hear your opinion. Let me hear your opinion about this analysis. Do you agree with me that Arsenal did not lose that match because of Gabriel playing the penalty over the bar? Or do you think Mikel Arteta tactically set up his team to defend, that the defensive structure of Arsenal led them to lose that match against Paris Saint-Germain? Or do you think the midfield not able to maintain possession was the cause of Arsenal not winning that match? Let me hear your opinion in the comment section. Make sure you write in the comment section, like, share this video, comment, and also subscribe. One love.